it's rare to be in a Super Bowl town and everybody's talking hoops.
Well, you know what? It happens like that sometimes. I mean, Phoenix just traded for Kevin Durant.
What do you make of that?
I think that makes them Phoenix the favorites in the Western Conference. Denver is still a team to be reckoned with. You got Jokic. Jamal Murray's been looking better. Aaron Gordon's been having a sensational year. They've got some depth, shooting, athletes, etc. But when you think about Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Chris Paul in the lineup, I don't want to hear anything about another team being the favorite in your conference.
That's it.
You got that kind of crew. This is not Kevin Durant with the Splash Brothers. That was a different level. But this is close. And to me, when you look at the rest of the Western Conference and the fact that no one's been able to run away with it, now that Kevin Durant is coming and really, really joining a quintessential prototypical point guard for the first time in his career. That's not Steph Curry. That's not Russell Westbrook. That certainly wasn't Kyrie Irving. But it definitely is Chris Paul. And you got a guy that's going to get you the ball in your spots, that's going to run the offense, that's going to play the leadership role, takes that responsibility off your shoulders. You got a stud in Devin Booker. You got a big man in DeAndre Ayton who is no scrub. He's no Giannis Antetokounmpo or somebody like that. But he's a 7-footer who can ball and can give you 20-10 on a night-in, night-out basis. There is no excuse for anybody else to be the favorite in the Western Conference.
What about favorite, period?
Well, I look at Boston. I can't dismiss Boston. They're the reigning Eastern Conference champions. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are stars. Robert Williams, once he comes back healthy, is a defensive presence you can't ignore. Malcolm Brogdon was picked up in the offseason to add depth to their bench. Marcus Smart is the reigning defensive player of the year. Derek White can ball. And you just look at their personnel right now and the way that they've been playing on both ends of the floor throughout the vast majority of this season. I can't dismiss anybody who would see Boston as the favorite. But I would tell you, Boston and Phoenix would definitely be an epic final series. We can't dismiss Milwaukee either. But I think because of what Phoenix has in its arsenal, I definitely think an outside chance with Dallas. You got to give Memphis an outside chance. Got to respect that. But the Western Conference, to me, really comes down to Denver versus Phoenix. The East comes down to Milwaukee, Boston.
Do you think Kyrie's stay in Dallas ends in the same way that his stay in Boston and Brooklyn ends?
No. The reason why is because he's got everything to lose. He doesn't have a contract locked in where, you know what, I'm signing 4 years, $136 million, and I know that if I screw around and mess up this year, I still got 3 additional years left to go. He's playing for a new contract. Dallas could give him a 2-year deal at over $80 million right now. They're likely not going to do that. He likely doesn't want them to do that. They're in a position where they have his bird right, so they could give him a max deal at 5 years, $272 million. Nobody on this planet is thinking about giving Kyrie Irving a long-term deal. Year to year, he's worth every penny that any other superstar would be worth because he's box office. You walk through the turnstiles to see this brother perform, and when he shows up, he puts on a show in most instances. But you cannot trust him more than 1 year at a time because he's proven that he's distracted by a multitude of other things that don't have anything to do with basketball half the time, and that it can disrupt your franchise. And he wants to march to his own beat. You're not going to trust him long term. I can't see anybody giving him a 4-year or 5-year guaranteed deal in excess of $200 million. I mean, there's a sucker born every minute. But the bottom line is you got to find that one for me to believe that that's what's going to happen for Kyrie
I mean, if somebody came in with the resume and the Shark Tank, and Cuban would pass. He would say, I'm out.
That's
with
right.
that resume.
Right.
So he's going to bounce around then because if he
not necessarily.
So then he'll stay 1 year at a time with a team that says no to a long-term contract that won't piss him off.
I don't think he'll say no. I'm sorry. I don't think that it's going to be a situation where he'll get a 1-year deal. I could see somebody offering him 2 years. Like this is 2 years. Do I see somebody offering him 3-4-year guaranteed dollars? Well, they've got to be in a desperate situation as well, which is where Dallas comes in because on one hand, Luka's dying for another star to defer to give the ball to take some of the pressure off himself because every time he gives you a lead, he goes to the bench. They lose it inside of 2 minutes. So that's been very frustrating for him. The Dallas Mavericks, in return, want to see what he'll do when he has that superstar. Are you willing to be deferential? Are you willing to let somebody else take the last shot? Are you willing to spectate and watch while somebody else puts on a show? Because the one advantage that Kyrie Irving has is that he can literally look Luka in the face and say, I've been where you're trying to go. He is a champion. He did average 27 in the NBA Finals. He did hit a big-time shot to win a championship for LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. He did all of those things. And he's a perennial all-star who can average 28 in his sleep. So Kyrie Irving doesn't have to be deferential in any way on the offensive side of the ball to Luka Doncic. Now, Luka Doncic knows that, but he knows what he brings to the table as well. So sometimes it's him, sometimes it'll be me. That could be his attitude, but he has to at least have that attitude. It can't be, well, here's the ball to you, Kyrie Irving, for the first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter is mine. Right. Kyrie Irving was leading all players in scoring in the fourth quarter. So he doesn't have to be deferential to anybody. It's going to be something that Jason Kidd's going to have to handle, but it's a good problem to have.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.